Hello everyone, I am back once again, this time, and I know, I said if you check my Instagram, and yes, I was supposed to do a Warbat review, but I didn't want to do it, because it felt useless to me, I didn't like that figure, spoiler alert. So, let's start off with the figure that I wanted to do, the Marvel Select Spectacular Spider-Man figure. So, here is the figure, here's the front of the box, Spectacular Spider-Man. And as you can see, it's pretty thin. So look at the top. It is a thin box. And then on the bottom, it is a pretty normal box. It's pretty normal. On the side, we get an image of Spider-Man himself. And on the back, we get an image of himself again. And nothing on the other side. And that is it for the figure. There's no bio. Something similar to the older Marvel Selects where they have a bio. So, yeah, let's just focus on the figure. Another thing as well as he also comes with this pen flip that Marvel Select always has, or Diamond Select toys always have, so they always have this. I don't think you can get these figures anymore, especially the Black Panther, especially if Disney Store is closed. So, at least here in Canada. So, let's go over this figure. Now, originally I heard this is actually if I'm correct, this figure was a Disney Store exclusive. But then, over the time past, I think it was shipped worldwide. And now you can find it in retail, sort of. Although this is kind of hard to find because it was an exclusive. So, does it really stand up? Does it really, amp up expectations of a Spider-Man figure? Does it really make it a good Spider-Man figure? Well, yeah. Start off with the painting and sculpting to prove my point. Painting and sculpting on this figure is good. Now, I know there's some imperfections. Start off with his face. That is classic Spider-Man. That head sculpt reminds me a lot of the Pizza Spider-Man figure from Marvel Legends, which I do not own. But he has that feeling, although the face isn't too big and the eyes aren't that wide. And for some reason, as you could see, his mask eyes are fading and it doesn't look that cool. Although it doesn't really bother me because it does look nice. But I think it's the main problem as we go down to this torso. Now, granted, there's nothing wrong with his torso. Yeah, there's some imperfections, but this is Spider-Man's cobweb pattern, or as I call it, web line. It's kind of strange, not gonna lie. But yeah, I do like its colors. It's bright. We even get the spider symbol at the back. It's nicely sculpted and painted. And moving forward also to his spider symbol, which is sculpted and painted. So that's pretty cool. He also has, again, this is another issue. As you could see, there is a paint speck right there. Right there. There is a paint speck. And yeah, it bothers me. But once you go down to this arm, again, as you noticed, there is another paint speck. It's dent. I don't know what's going on with that. But if we move on to this hand, yeah, there's a huge dot there for some reason. And this, I didn't paint by accident. This thing, I caught it. I saw it when I opened the figure. Nothing bad on the other hand. Excuse me. Nothing bad on the other hand, although there's still some dots. Not too bad. Moving forward to his waist, it's nicely painted, nicely sculpted. And get the nice ass. And then moving forward to his thighs, they're nice and muscular but thin. And again, to his calves, which are also nicely painted, but maybe there's gonna be some sort of paint speck I didn't notice. One thing I really don't like about this figure, besides the paint imperfections, his legs. I don't like the leg joints whatsoever. They are annoying to pose. But before I go into his articulation, I'll go over his accessories, which I think is a positive for this figure. So moving forward to his normal accessories that are not his hands, we got this Peter Parker head. Now, granted, the eyes look a bit and his hair is a bit unpainted, especially on the sides. But it's a decent head, although if you see there's a lot of red mist in it. You know why? Because I didn't hair dry this figure. I suggest you hair dry this figure, especially his head, his neck joint, because you could end up with his head stuck on it, and you might get the risk of snapping the joint by rotating his head. So I suggest you hair dry both of these joints. He also has this Spider-Man mask, which looks really nice, although I wish more details maybe carried over a little bit here. But then again, he's holding the mask, so it's not fully, on. And then we also got his camera. So he has, as you see, this camera. So it's nicely sculpted and painted. This is, the brown strap that looks so weird and curved. And yeah, it looks so strange. And even has the lens flare into it, so that looks nice. Now moving forward to his hands, which as one of the greatest hands, but as like another pair of hands, which in my opinion kind of suck. So we got his fisted hands. Now out of the box, he has these wall crawling relaxed hands. So we got his fisted hands, and again, there's another paint defect. I don't know what's going on with him. It looks so weird. Then we get his web shooting hands. Nicely painted, nicely sculpted. Looks absolutely nice, although it does look kind of weird. And we get these two gripping hands, which are used for actually either holding the camera or holding his mask. So something like this. Now, the camera is a different story, because I don't know how in the world this fits. Now, if you want to remove the hands, it's very simple. You take this hand off, and you pop it in like so. Now, there's no way... There's no, one thing as well for this figure is that his hand, this peg is kind of chipped. Yeah, it's kind of weird. So it makes it sort of loose to put it on, but it does stay secure. Now let's move on to the articulation, which is a great amount of articulation, although I really don't like his... I really don't like his legs. I really don't. So let's move on to the articulation. Head is on a similar neck joint as Marvel Legends. You can look down and up. There's no dumbbell joint similar to other newer Marvel Legends, like the Zemo figure, there's a Shang-Chi figure, which I'll probably do reviews on. So, yeah, just letting you know. 360 at the arm. Flapping motion. Bicep swivel, which is kind of tight. Double bend. Wrist swivel with a hinge at it. There's not that much waist articulation or ab articulation, but what you get is not that bad. A waist swivel as well, which is non-existent in my opinion. And this is the part I really hate. This is the part, I don't want to say I really hate this figure, but this is the part that doesn't make me like this figure. You have to rotate his leg like this, and then you have to do something like this. So you can make him kick up that far and move back that far. Why? He also has a nice amount of spread, but I don't like those joints. Another thing I also don't like about those joints is if you put these legs down, you can see that the peg it looks like the peg is slowly about to pop out. I don't like that. I swivel, a double bend at the knee. It's pretty, I will admit the knee is pretty cool. And a calf swivel with a foot pivot hinge motion. Posability on this figure is fun. Granted, his legs are a pain in the ass, but they're fun. It's a fun figure, definitely. It's a fun figure to pose. Now let's do the size comparison and my final thoughts on this figure in general. Size comparison time. This figure stands roughly around almost 7 inches, which is kind of stiff. Oh, sorry about that. So here he is compared to the Toy Biz Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Now, I actually really wanted to get this figure for an Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. But after playing with this figure and getting into poses, yeah, I kind of want to get another one. Although, I don't know if they're going to make any. But if Hasbro's going to make new of these figures, new like, Mark Webb and Sam Raimi Spider-Man figures, I would love to see remasters and new figures of them, because they're rare and some of them are not that good, especially the Amazing Spider-Man figures, in my opinion. So yeah, there's Toy Biz, the super posable Spider-Man from Spider-Man, the first movie, and we got the black suit Spider-Man, who this is actually a different mold from the pizza Spider-Man, which is so weird. I don't know why this one had to be a different mold, but he's slightly taller, but not as tall as this Peter Parker, which is kind of surprising to me. So, buy now, skip, or just kind of skip, because this figure is pretty expensive. Who knows? It was on Big Bad Toy Store, and it was sold. This figure is great. Just saying. This figure is like an 8.9. Almost not 8.9. Maybe 8.5, probably. Articulation is great. I do think for what you get is... the accessories as what you get is better than the original figure. I didn't like that original figure a lot because it felt like a cash grab. Because, like, you get a cool base, but, like, the figure's kind of eh. I don't own it, but, like, looking at it, I don't like it. And I don't like its articulation with its single-jointed elbows to his swivels at the hands. I want to get it, but I don't know about that. I don't want to waste money on it. Plus, I'm very satisfied with this one. The articulation is really good despite his legs. Despite the size, it's really good. The paint is kind of minor. About that. I'd actually rather be worried about his head, this alternate head, if you want to switch it. But for what you get, I think is really good. You get a lot of you get roughly around maybe, 8 pairs of hands, including the hands he has, and a taken off mask, a Peter Parker head, a camera. What you get is not bad, and I honestly recommend this figure if you can find it for a good price. Now, of course, I only found this in Kamikaze, which is a Canadian store, comic store, but here's the thing, but if you want a Marvel Slick Spider-Man, specifically this sort of one, it's kind of hard. I suggest you get it online. And I guess, yeah, maybe you could go for that other one, although I still recommend this one more than that original figure. So, yeah, I give this figure a solid recommend if you could find it for a good price. So, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, hit the bell. And I'll see you guys next time on the next review. I know I was supposed to do Warbat, and I know I'm going to do a lot of stuff. And if you've been following me on Instagram, you would know, obviously, of the new... You would obviously know about the new Spider... Of course, you obviously know that if you follow my stories on Instagram, as I said so many times because I kind of forgot, that I'm going to be doing a ton of re-uploads on most of my videos on my second channel, which you could subscribe to, but I'm going to probably delete that channel and some of its videos along with it. So just letting you know, because it feels like a waste as well. So yeah, I'm going to upload the videos here. Will it make me lose subscribers? Definitely, I can tell. Because people think my content is too old, especially. I'm going to say that. My content, I will admit, is too old. So, there's that. But, I will just re-upload them so they have some... So, if people want to watch more of my videos, they could watch more of my videos. And, hopefully, I will also do an unboxing on my Christmas presents, which are right behind me. I won't show them. If you're following me on... If you've also been watching my YouTube, you would obviously know what they are, and there might be new ones as well. So yeah. Sorry if I couldn't do the Warbat review or any of the other reviews. I'm just really busy with school and trying to do stuff. So yeah, that's after my long debacle. Thanks for watching. like, subscribe, hit the bell, and I'll see you guys next time in the next video, hopefully. Bye-bye.